here, you can see that the German squad TeamRequiem has decided to go on the blue side for game number 2, so they do have that first pick priority. And 4J1V were just like, yep, we know that Hecarim was a strong pick, so we're going to ban that straight away from you. We're not going to allow you to first pick it, just like you let us first pick it first time around. Very similar bans though. Lily are actually being banned this time around, so not 3 support bans straight away here for TeamRequiem. Interested to see what their first pick is going to be, though. Is it going to be the likes of potentially that Camille? Could it be Viego? I'd be really excited to see Viego being picked sometime today. Ooh. Or it's just going to be Camille. I feel like it's been like years of Wild Rift, and there's been so many patches, and we still get the same picks. Come on, bring out something new. Bring out something spicy. I want something new, please. Don't give me Camille Galio again.
The Camille Prio pick on blue side was definitely not what I was expecting, to be honest. I was expecting, yeah, like you said, something spicy, maybe like the Viego come through, or the fact that the Kha'Zix wasn't actually banned by the side of 4JV. Again, Kha'Zix's first pick probably wouldn't have been the best thing anyway, but kind of locking in that Camille means that you can kind of either put it into the Baron lane or even in the mid lane, kind of a bit of a flex pick there. It's definitely not going to go in the jungle because Kha'Zix is being picked up as the second pick on the side of Requiem. But we're getting the Galio once again on the side of 4JV, but we're getting a Kali swap in hands here. So Lyrics loses the Akali, but they pick up the Kaiser on the side of Requiem.
Yeah, a bit of a switch up, as you mentioned, Kali swapping sides. Kaiser also swapping sides as well. Again, Kha'Zix, very Ferox champion. Ferox loves his assassins. You can see with the likes of Lee Sin and Evelyn being banned away. Kha'Zix an interesting one, though. In China right now as well, they're actually going for kind of electrocute on Kha'Zix instead of going for that first strike since that nerf, which means that he might not have the same kind of one-shot potential as what he did before. First strike is still doable. I think it just depends on the enemy team comp. Shen is an interesting one, though. I wonder where this Shen is potentially going. Could be jungle Shen, but also could be in that top lane as well.
Yeah, I mean, if they really want to make a big doozy and flap it around a little bit randomly, they could have the Galio in the mid. They could have a Kali up in the Baron lane. They could have Shen support. We don't quite know yet. So it's quite a bit of a beautiful picture that 4JV is kind of painting here. But they are looking to ban a little bit more of the support picks on the side of the French teams there. They got the Leona taken out of the pool, and it's going to be interesting to see what they go for on the side of Requiem. We're seeing that they are thinking that the Baron lanes haven't been picked yet because Jax gets banned there as well. So I think it's just a little bit of guesswork because there's quite a few flex picks on that board already.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think the Akali can go in multiple lanes. The Shen can go in multiple areas. Even the Galio as well, even though you expect Galio to be in that support role. Most of the time, I think the Galio could be, mid, could be Baron lane as well. I think most of the time it will go down in that support role. Kaiser, though, being that priority, I think has been very interesting. As I mentioned during the last game, that kind of on-hit Kaiser build being a new thing now, where you're kind of going further away from things like Manamune, even though it did get buffed and going more towards Terminus. But 2 Baron laners being banned here for TeamRequiem. So yeah, like you said, they may be thinking that the Shen is probably going to go in the jungle, ban away. And yeah, they were right as well. With Renekton being built, being picked up here, means that Shen is most likely going to be in the jungle here. Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we saw towards the end of the last Rift Legends season where Andreas had picked up the Renekton, and then it kind of made a ripple effect because when I was picking up certain games here and there throughout the group stages, stuff like that, we saw the Renekton come through in the jungle again. It's kind of just like the resounding effect that Andreas had before he left the scene. He's like, you know what? Pick him. That's my gift to you. That's Merry Christmas from Andreas said there. The Renekton.
Leave on a high.
That's it. Yeah. Leave on a high and a random pick. I mean, it worked, but it seems to have a resounding effect. We could see it in the jungle, but I mean, even no matter where these picks go, Shen, massive front line, Galio, massive front line, Renekton, huge front line. And again, 2 global ultimates to fit you in there. And then if we look over to the side of Requiem, they're going for the Aurelian Sol and Alistair as well. So a little bit more of a predictable. We know where these heroes, these champions are going to go. But again, it's only going to be at this point where we actually know definitively where the French are going to put these beautiful champions.
Yeah, you can see that they're swapping around at the moment. Looks like it will be a Kali mid, Shen jungle, Renekton top lane. But as you mentioned, an extremely beefy frontline here for this Xayah, which is what she needs. She needs kind of time to ramp up in team fights, stack them feathers, even trying to use things like her ultimate as well to try and do as much damage as possible. And she needs that front line in front of her to protect her. You got the likes of Shen that can use his ultimate on the Xayah. You got the Galio ultimate also giving a shield over to the Xayah as well. So I feel like it's going to be very difficult here for the likes of Kha'Zix to actually get onto the Xayah, onto the back line, because you're going to get caught by this big beefy front line, and you just have to make sure the positioning is so key here for Azim on this Xayah. Make sure that you're not isolated, you're not trying to 1v1 the Kha'Zix, because he probably still 1v1 you. You stay with your team, you stay group with your teammates, you stop the isolation damage, and it's just going to be I might even be a quick 2-0 here for Team France, to be honest with you.
But even then, looking at that, so with them being positioned very well around the Xayah, you could see that that could be punishable from the Aurelion Sol. Obviously, his new ultimate, the huge knock-up with the Meteorite as well, could be the counter pick to what they could be going for on the side of Team France there. But like you said, if everybody is able to secure this Xayah and she's just able to go ham, we saw Azim maybe able to have a fantastic first game on the Kaiser, and this Akali could just be sort of like a, oh, look at me, I'm over here, like, oh, please don't pay attention to me, oh, it's definitely not me you want, kind of play style that we could see here from the Akali on the side of Team France. But again, the Alistair coming through as well. There's a little bit more of a backbone on the side of Requiem this time around, which I'm happy to see, because last time there was just nil point to bring it back to the France route.
Nil point. I don't even know what that is. Come on and teach me. What's that?
Is it not like no point in like tennis?
No. I don't know.
I don't even know if it's French. It just sounds French.
You don't even know. It's just like, yeah, I can think of words. What word can I think of randomly off the top of my head?
Yeah, what can I pick out from my boomer brain?
What sounds French, but might not be French?
I don't know. Oh, nil point. Yeah, I think it is. Nil points in French.
I'm sure that the French-speaking Twitch chatters can actually say if Blam is correct or Blam is completely waffling out of his mind right now.
I'm just too lally at this point, I reckon.
You lost it already.
Yeah, I didn't even know I'd spell like nil point until I just typed it in on Google, and that was not the way I was spelling it.
I was gonna say, you're gonna be even able to say it, like type it. Or you just put no points on Google Translator in English to French and see what it comes up with.
But it comes up with something completely different, so I don't think nil point is no point.
So it's probably not even a thing. You just come up with your own French word as a Brit. Oh,
hey, I mean, Spirit's getting it in the Discord, so I assume that it's correct.
We'll talk to Spirit afterwards. I mean, I'm sure she can. she can help you improve your French, and well, she hasn't really helped me improve my French anyway. All I've learned is how to sing the Pokemon theme song in French. That's the only thing that I can do. But anyway, yeah, go back to the game. I mean, the timer is paused. Don't worry. We're just waiting for the 3-minute timer at the moment, just to make sure that the players are not trying to stream snipe away on the stream. So we'll just have to wait a few more minutes before we get into game. But pretty exciting one. There are also some games happening off stream as well at the same time. We're focusing on the top half of the bracket at the moment, where we will be able to see this game and also the other game in the top side of the bracket after this, which will be Team MENA versus Team Turkey, which will face the winner of this game as well. So not an easy task for either MENA or Turkey, which again, two extremely strong regions, especially in the mobile scene as well, even in other titles as well. You know, Turkey and MENA are definitely two insanely strong countries and regions to kind of look out for in the future of this game. Hopefully we should be into game shortly. I feel like it's been 3 minutes, but I don't know at this point, because I've been thinking of nil point in my head for the past 5 minutes. I don't actually know if it's actually I don't know where the time's gone. Yeah, interesting to see what happens to this one.
Passed by. Nil minutes have passed by, but we are actually into the nil point minute. So nil point minute there. Bam just riffing completely off of my bad French. But it's beautiful. I don't care what anyone says. But yeah, back to just reiterate your point about the next matchup being Turkey versus MENA. And obviously throughout the majority of Rift Legends, we had some amazing players from both of those regions. So I feel like depending on how this game goes, that the next series could be a lot more closer, I reckon.
Yeah, I think the next series definitely might be closer than this one. I mean, I'm hoping this game is not a clean 2-0, to be honest with you. I'm hoping there's a case of, you know, Germany potentially being able to come back in this one. I definitely feel like they've kind of come up with a better composition in general, which we'll have to see in the long run if it's actually going to benefit them or not. But for now, we're just going to see probably the same as the previous game as well. All these players kind of farming up, no real action, no real roams happening right now to see what can happen. All these players are just going to be farming up, stacking the Stardust like Aurelion Sol does, and also just trying to get that first item before the big objectives. So we have a bit of downtime at the moment to kind of look around and see now what's really going to happen at these first objectives, because we saw a huge priority in both of these teams going towards that Rift Herald. Are you kind of expecting the same thing again in this game, Blam?
Yeah, I reckon the Rift Herald will be the prio sort of target in that first wave of the jungle objectives. We do have the Ocean Drake, is it? Is that the Flame Drake or Ocean Drake, sorry, in spawning first?
Infernal
Drake. So yeah, I mean, it could be 50-50 split here, because Infernal Drake, if you manage to secure that and you know that your team's going to do well enough to secure the other two Dragon Souls, that's probably one of the best ones to go for, especially in terms of damage increase and stuff like that. So, but looking over to the Kazakhs, just as a flyby thought, because that's pretty much most of my thoughts are, is just flyby, because I get distracted by pretty things. Again, about to be distracted by the Alistair takedown, maybe? Oh, we do! Ezim gets first blood again. The takedown onto the Alistair. He just got caught in the no-no zone. But back onto my fleeting point, Kazakhs has got first strike.
Yeah, Kazakhs has got first strike. Like I said, I think it's still takeable. There are just I think there's a few players trying to test a few things, because Electrocute is now a lot more reliable than First Strike, because the thing with First Strike is that you have to be the one to deal that first instance of damage to get that little bit of extra true damage. But now the true damage has been nerfed by like 20%. It's gone from 9% down to, I believe, 7%. So it's like a 20% damage nerf for First Strike. So it's a little bit more difficult now to try and proc. But I think it's the kind of champion, as I mentioned, and the kind of rune that Ferox wants to go for. He's a player that always loves to be the main carry on the team. He won't be someone like Baloo's playing Shen jungle, for example. He'll always try and be the carry. And he'll have to try and do better in this game, because, as you mentioned before, Blam, you know, in that first game on like Gragas was not the performance we expect to see with someone of this high caliber.
Yeah, it was a bit of a letdown, but again, it could be nerves. It could be just the fact that the French team just had them pinned down. That Hecarim, clearly, it wasn't the ult that gave him fear. It was just the fact that he got chosen as the prio pick on the side of blue side. But just to reiterate your point about the Kazakhs, again, you say that the true damage has been nerfed on the first strike rune, the keystone rune there. But somebody like the Kazakhs, you're not really going to notice it much. It's probably not going to be the biggest thing that you go, oh, Kazakhs does no damage now. It's kind of like, oh, Kazakhs kind of does less damage, especially if it goes for the lethality build that we're used to seeing on Kazakhs players, like the likes of Yumu's first item, stuff like that, which is all going to be... time will tell, but he does pick up the Gluttonous Greaves as the first item there, obviously to get some lifesteal for keeping sustained in these team fights. But that farm lane turret is taken a beating. There is a lot of turret platings already been taken down on that bot lane turret. So fair play to Team France for absolutely hammering the turret there and getting up a lot of gold, which is going to be a bit mistake, especially given it's over to the Xayah as well, because Xayah is currently almost a whole 1k gold ahead of the enemy Kaiser.
Yeah, I was going to mention that 1k gold ahead already is absolutely disgusting at this point of the game. You know, we're not even at the first objectives, and there's already a 1k gold lead. And you can see this is where the objectives spawn, and it looks like it will be a bit of a trade this time around. I think the German side have maybe realize that they're maybe not as good as what they maybe think they are, and they're playing a bit more defensive now. But they're going to try and jump on this Akali as well. It's just going to flash away to safety. Akali just trying to be a nuisance there, trying to stop down the dragon. But in the end, it is that trade. It is that bit of an adaptation here by Ferox, and also for Team Germany here and TeamRequiem being able to knock them down.
Knockdown, that is what they're doing, and they could potentially pick up the first turret there on the side of 4JV. So it wasn't actually going to go for the barrel lane. Forget about that. We see the takedown by Akali onto the Kaiser as well. So this next fight, if it does happen, is not going to go in the way for Requiem because they are down an ADC again. Unfortunately, the kill didn't go over to Xayah, but it did, however, go over to the Akali, which, again, if you're going to put kills into one of these two champions on the side of 4JV, it's definitely going to be either the Akali or the Kaiser. Rift Hell being dropped in the mid lane. Down goes another turret there. Aurelion Sol comes through with the ultimate, but so does the Galio. Hestes may get caught out here. It was a nice Hextech ultimatum onto the Galio, but at what cost? We see the Renekton go in to pick up that one trade on the Camille, but it's going to be good night, Irene, to the Renekton there in the mid lane.
Yeah, much needed kill there onto Kaiser as well, because as you said, the Xayah's been kind of running away with this game. Both games now, there's been a bit of a bot gap here with Azim and Heste performing incredibly well. There's still just over a 1,000 gold lead here for the Xayah, but hopefully that kill for Kaiser will be able to help them out. Again, Heste flashing in, trying to make the plays that you know. Going a bit too far this time. I think it's a bit difficult to try and make the same flashy plays. As you mentioned, with the Hextech ultimatum now on the side of TeamRequiem, it is a little bit difficult to try and fully engage because you will just get locked down and there's no real way of escaping. But you can see the gold lead already, 4,000 gold lead. The top lane tower's gone, the mid lane tower's gone, the bot lane tower's gone as well. The map is just wide open right now for 4J1V to do whatever they want around the map and just secure control around these objectives.
Yep, securing control is definitely what they're doing because they have the tempo on the side of 4JV. They have not lost a step. I mean, they did lose the likes of the Akali within that team fight. They lost Hestes as well, but is that really going to upset your tempo, especially when you've got the likes of Azim on the Xayah here that's already 1-0-1, almost towards that 1.4k gold difference against the Kaiser as well. On the enemy team, pick up Bloodthirst, the first item against the Terminus as well. So we kind of seen in a very familiar build, even though the Kaiser has swapped hands, it is looking very familiar from what we were seeing in game 1 from 4JV is being replicated on Requiem this time around.
And trying to farm things up, trying to get that second item as soon as possible. This Kaiser is just so far behind right now. You're hopefully going to expect to be at 2 items by around the 10-minute point, but I don't think Kaiser is going to be even close to 2 items unless there's some sort of advantage that kind of jumps out of nowhere and Kaiser gets a few kills. But you've seen how hesitant Team Germany are, TeamRequiem are at the moment at moving around the map because they can't really move out of their side of the jungle. And even if they do, it's even so difficult to even move around in their side of the jungle because they don't know where the vision is. They have no idea where this French team is right now because they have no towers to fall back to. They're trying to push up here. You see Ferox on the top side here, just trying to steal away a few objectives and a few jungle camps whilst he can. He does need to be a little bit careful though, but he is going to probably be able to jump away to safety. The next dragon is available in the next 40 seconds. TeamRequiem, the German team, can definitely try and look towards this dragon and try and potentially get the dragon's soul, but there's still a long way to go for that one.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be sort of like a game-ending condition that they lose the Ocean Drake there for the side of 4JV, but they do lose the Aurelion Soul. So speaking of dragons, one dragon's already down, and it is a soul on the side of Requiem. Again, another pickup for the Renekton, I believe it was, got the kill there. Yep, 2-1-0, and we could see Azim, a little bit of a bait there, or a little bit of an overstep, but Shen has to go in to kind of rectify the problem that was going on there with Xayah being a little bit too caught out by the Alistair and the Kaiser in that mid lane. Ferox is looking pretty low, but he is nearby as well. But they do clear up and take the second tier turret in the Baron lane as well. So already at the inhibitor, 10 minutes in, again, it's looking like a clean early and mid game for Team France.
Yeah, you can see here, I mean, look, exactly what I was saying during the game is basically what happened. The Baron lane tower's down, the mid lane tower's down, and what Team France were able to do is just invade into the enemy jungle, play around that flank as well, and just flash straight onto the Aurelion Soul. There's no way the Aurelion Soul can escape from a Renekton stun and also that taunt as well from Galio. And this just shows that, you know, Team Germany, TeamRequiem at the moment, they can't move out of their base. They step up a little bit too far, even towards this wave, for example, in the Baron lane. This minion wave is too far ahead because the flank can just come in for Team France again and for the Galio and the Renekton, and there'll be another player down. So they're really playing on the back foot at the moment, Germany, to be able to try and bounce back into this game.
Yeah, they don't really have as much vision in the red side of the jungle as they did pretty much, I think it was 2 to 3 minutes ago. We saw a very heavy presence for the wards on the side of blue team. So again, it was just being in preparation for that dragon fight. They do, however, pick up that second dragon for themselves. So all they need to do is try and clutch the pearls and clutch that third Drake for themselves so they can proc the Infernal Dragon Soul, which I think it won't, like, completely change the tide of the game, but it will definitely do something for them, especially the likes of the Kaiser, Asol, and the Kha'Zix as well. So I think if they manage to secure that third Dragon Soul, I think it could be an interesting late game if it does manage to meet at that point in the match.
Yeah, really nice to get 2 objectives. Like you said, you have to kind of wait until that third dragon, and I don't even know if we're going to get to that point of the game where we're actually going to take have the third dragon even available. But you can see right now the Team France are just playing so confidently right now. You see them moving around as a group, they're clearing around the vision, and this just makes it so difficult right now for TeamRequiem to even step up close enough. Baloo's clearing around the objective, clearing around the Baron, and hey, Team France are just like, you come towards us, you play around us, we do not want to engage towards you. We can easily take this Baron down in an instant if you step up too far. You can see how scared at the moment this TeamRequiem side are. They're trying to step up, they're trying to make some plays, and they are going to make the play, but the 4-man taunt from Baloo's in the end, and the TP comes in as well, but I think it's going to be too little too late, or is it? The Camille takes down 1, and they might even take down 2. The Akali as well also going down. Baloo's is going to go down as well. They stepped up a little bit too far here, and actually TeamRequiem is the one that gets 2 kills in the end. That looks so good from Baloo's with that 4-man taunt, but in the end nothing really came upon it, and they lost the fight.
In the famous words of Linkin Park, in the end, does it ever even matter? No, it did not. That 4 taunt went to waste, as you saw. We saw it play by play, didn't claim anything from it. Everybody on the side of Requiem was still alive, and it's pretty much that indomitable spirit from the Team Requiem there. They've been pretty much playing on their back foot, and it looks like they can pick up this Baron Nashor, which could be huge in terms of picking up and trying to turn around this lane situation that they're currently facing, because if lanes were a famine, this is what it would be like. They have to get some sort of turrets in this game now, because all the first tier turrets are still up, but now they have the Baron Nashor. We could see that help Team Requiem in some state.
What a team fight to turn things around. Such incredible play here by Donawful on the Kaiser, and also Ferox as well. That even the TP as well from Camille in the end really made a huge difference here. And now it's really towards this third dragon. We thought we wouldn't get to this objective, this third dragon. I thought that potentially Team France could take down the Baron and try and end the game, but there's a fight happening mid lane as well. He's playing a little bit careful here. Xayah actually taking a lot of damage. We're 15 seconds away from this dragon as well. We could be seeing an Infernal Dragon Soul here for Team Germany, and that's going to give them a whole heap of damage boost. And now they have the scaling online. The Aurelion Soul stacking the Stardust. The Kaiser is nearly at 3 items, but now is where the big team fight comes in, because Team France really need to make sure they try and stop this objective, but they're not even close. Kha'Zix is doing it by himself. There's going to be a free dragon here for Team Requiem in the Infernal Soul.
Infernal Soul does get picked up there, so the attacks and ability deals more damage on the side of Team Requiem. And after that team fight, I honestly think they've still got a little bit of fighting spirit in them. They do take that first hit turret in the mid lane as well, so giving them a little bit more priority, a little bit more push, and placing that playing on the back foot motion to the side of 4JV. But is this the trap that they're trying to bait Requiem into? It could potentially be here, because Camille could have this 2v1 go down horribly up in the Baron lane. Renekton putting the CC on there. We also get Baloo's putting the CC onto the side of Camille as well, and it's just a little bit too late there from Ferox. Again, you do not want to go 2v1 against that Renekton and that Shen currently, but down on the bottom side of the map, they do take a bit of the turret on the side of Requiem.
Oh, and the taunt flash as well onto Ferox. That's 2 quick kills now for Team France. It was looking good for Requiem. It was looking good for Team Germany for a second, but a few simple mistakes has all come down now to Team Requiem, just losing fight after fight. They do still have the Infernal Soul. They have a little bit of damage, but as you mentioned, the Camille just stepping up too far in the end, trying to take that tier 1 tower in the Baron lane, not respecting the potential of Shen to be there, and also the lockdown of the Renekton. Then Kha'Zix getting caught out as well, and suddenly things have turned again. This game has been so back and forth compared to the first one. Oh my god, this Aurelion Soul damage! He's just dead, isn't he? Oh, flash away.
The ASOL damage did come through. It did put a lot of pressure onto the Renekton. It did manage to take down the Akali as well. Xayah is on the run as well as the Shen, and Renekton's had to split off as well to recall, because this is a great advancement here for the side of Requiem, but Alistar has nobody here to do any damage. We have Shen come through with the ultimate, the shield. Saved Xayah, but it does mean that Requiem is able to pick up that Baron Nashor as well for the second time in the match, and it is 39 seconds until the Elder Dragon is online. And I think this is where it's all going to come down to, is whoever gets the Elder, it's literally a signed, sealed, delivered match.
And the real big opportunity that Team France have at the moment is there's 20 seconds until this Alistar comes back up. There's 20 seconds until this Elder Drake. So there is going to be a little bit of time where Alistar is not going to be there. And I feel like they have a small window potentially to try and catch out some of the members here of Team Requiem. As you can see at the moment, both teams just posturing, trying to play towards this objective, and they know it's go time. The Alistar is dead. The Aurelion Soul is completely caught out. There's only 3 members in the mid lane. Why are you stepping up, Requiem, when there's just no one there to protect you at all? But someone needs to protect the base here towards this Camille. The Baron buff is still on the cards here, and is still on the side of Team Requiem. Heste is going to be able to use the ultimate to escape, but Ferox is on the flank. The Kha'Zix on the flank, but as you can see, he can't really jump in at the moment. But the base is in shambles right now. The mid lane is getting pushed in as well. Ismail gets a huge shield in the end, but it's not enough. Ferox flashing over the wall, not doing enough damage. And it's just so back and forth right now. Another kill over to this Xayah. A killing spree, 3-0 and 2. Ezim has been on fire. Deathless in game number 1. Currently deathless in game number 2 as well. And the jungler is dead for Team Requiem. That means that the Elder Drake is all but secured unless a miracle still can happen. Alistar and the Camille are over the wall. There's potential. The stars are falling down from the Aurelion Soul, but I don't think they're going to get there in time to steal the Elder Drake. The flash from Heste again. The engage comes through, and it's all lights out here for Team Germany. The flash again from Baloo's, and it's all but done now. There was a bit of fighting chance there for Team Germany. They got the soul, but just too many individual mistakes here means that Team France can look to push down the mid lane and try and finish this game.
Yeah, Camille kind of was just constantly focused on trying to take down that Baron lane turret there, but it just wasn't focusing, and it didn't quite work out in their favor there, and they did lose the Elder Dragon. And like I said, whoever picks up that Elder Dragon buff, it is going to be good night, Irene, and 5 men are down, and so is the Nexus for Requiem. So Team France go through to the next stage. Well played.
incredible in the end. A bit of a shaky game number 2. We saw how clean game 1 was. There was just clean, just nothing really in terms of mistakes. Game number 2 was a little bit shaky, but Azim on this Kai'Sa, Isaiah, what an incredible performance. Deathless in game number 1, deathless again in game number 2. I think he finished the 2 games on 12, 0, and 13 or something crazy like that. What an incredible performance in the end, as you can see the builds at the end of this game. But a little bit of a shaky game number 2, as I mentioned. There were opportunities, I feel like, for TeamRequiem and Team Germany to actually come back into it, but they just got caught out way too many times.
Yeah, I think it's just again, it's a symptom of losing that early game for Requiem, because again, we saw quite a shaky early game. It wasn't quite as much dominance by the side of 4JV in the early game because they didn't have the Hecarim pick, but you definitely saw that the fact that Requiem didn't pick up their performance in that early game, it kind of resulted to the same kind of late game disaster which happened all around the Elder Dragon. We saw that Camille was trying to push the Baron lane, was very much hesitant to leave it, but whilst Renekton was coming there and trying and keep Renekton from that team fight, I feel like probably would have been a much better thing for them. So leave the minion wave there, let Renekton just clear that whilst you're just flying over those walls, going to help your team. But unfortunately, it was just a little bit too late and a little bit sloppy there for the side of Requiem. And as you can see, the goal difference was always in the favor for Team France there. However, and well played to Team France going through to the next stage of the game.
Yeah, but we're going to go through to the semi-final, which will be happening tomorrow. We won't be seeing them on stream unless they make it all the way to the final. Then maybe we can see them in the grand final at the moment. But overall, an incredible performance by